All right, it's been a hot minute since I have filmed, and I know, I'm sorry, but I'm back with some good content for you guys. And today's video, I will be talking about how to get out of a rut, because that has been one of the reasons I have not been filming lately. Just saying. This has been something that has been on my mind, mainly because I have been in a rut recently. That was part of the reason I didn't post, and obviously being busy, but it's been really difficult to even want to, I guess, get out of bed in the morning, because it was like, wow, my life is so boring and I'm doing the same thing all the time. Like, I don't have things to look forward to, if that makes sense. And I know that I'm not the only one. I know that other people feel the same way that I do too. So what I did was I made a list, and I have it right here so that way I don't rabbit trail too much. But I made a list so that way I could kind of explain to you guys how I get out of my rut, and hopefully this will help you. Please comment down below if it does help you, if you've tried this out, if you know that any of these tips do help you, if you've tried them before. Just let me know how, or I guess what you guys think about this. So the first thing that I recommend is figure out why you're in the rut. So is that because of the order that you do your chores, and maybe you do the same thing every single day? Is it because you're just really tired? Maybe are you not sleeping very well? Are you eating food that is just not very good for you? Or maybe things that you're sensitive to. Like, example, I'm allergic to milk and also lactose intolerant. And so if I eat a lot of dairy, it really gets to me after a while and I don't feel very good. So that's an example that I know I have to be careful about with food, but not very fun to not eat dairy. Do you just have like a general boredom for things in general? Like, do you have general boredom just for everything that's going on? Like, nothing really interests you anymore? Are you tired of the clothes that you're wearing? And I know this point sounds weird, but I have found myself that, like, sometimes, especially recently, and I'll explain why, but sometimes if I just wear the same thing again and again and again, it'll put me in a rut and I'll just feel gross, and I'll be like, wow, like, I feel like a sack of potatoes and I don't want to do anything because I feel like I look bad. Like, does that make sense? Please tell me it does. But 8 months ago, Joe and I moved all of our stuff to Japan. Well, we sent it off to go to Japan, and we've still been waiting for it to come here in Florida because orders changed, all that stuff. I'll link those videos down below so you can check those out. But we've been without most of our stuff for 8 months now. So it's been kind of difficult, and we've had, I guess, capsule wardrobes really for like 8-9 months now. So it's been kind of difficult, and especially as a girl, you need new stuff sometimes. If you're wearing the same 7 shirts all the time, it just kind of gets old and you feel weird after a while. Maybe, again, maybe just me, but it's how I am. I'm sorry. So I know for me, like, that can be a trigger to put me into a rut, and there's just a whole bunch of different things. So figure out why you're in the rut, and that will help you get out of it, and that'll help you kind of follow these other tips that I'm about to give you, because you can focus on that area that is really just pushing you into that rut. Another big tip that I can give you is, if the reason you're in the rut is because you just feel like your chores are boring and you're doing the same thing again and again and again with no progress to be made ever, then something I recommend is just using YouTube and looking up like a day in my life or morning routine or evening routine or something like that, and watch a few of those and kind of figure out which ones you like, what things you'd like to implement in your life. And I've done this so many different times in my own life. Like, I'll watch some morning routines and it's like, wow, I do or don't do some of those things. So maybe I should change it up a little bit and try something that they're doing. And that actually kind of gives me a fresh start, and that gives me something to look forward to, because I'm wanting to try something new and I have a great way to do it, and I have kind of a guide, if you will, to try it. So that's something that has really, really helped me, and figure out, again, what part of the day your rut is kind of landing in. So if it's in the morning or the afternoon or the evening, then search for videos about that section of the day, if that makes sense. So after you figure out something that you want to try, either write it down or have it on your phone so that way you can have a list and you'll just see it right in the morning or afternoon or evening or whatever. And then you can just follow that throughout the day, and you don't have to remember like, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do next? Because if you do that, you might fall back into the old routine that you had, and that's not what you want, because that'll just keep you being in that rut all the time. And again, that's not what you want. That's not ideal, and that won't help you at all. Trust me, I know from personal experience. Okay, so another thing that I always do to help me get out of that rut, no matter what reason I'm in that rut for, I always take one room and I deep clean it, like as much as I possibly can. So like mopping the floor, steam mopping the floor, like all of the things. clean that room, okay? And then rearrange it if possible. So move your furniture around, bring some plants in from a different room, just whatever you have to do to spruce up that room, do it, because it's going to make you feel so much better and it's going to look different. And again, you're wanting to get out of that old rut that you had. So rearranging the room in whatever form you can, again, whether it's by moving the furniture, or if you're like me and you can't do that alone, maybe just bring in some different paintings or decor items or whatever it is that you want to, whatever you have on hand. And you're really just wanting to spruce up the space, make it look different. And that will really just help you get out of that rut, because you won't be looking at the same thing you've been looking at for months or maybe even years. And if you need a little bit of motivation, a little bit of push to do all of that cleaning, again, go on YouTube, find a Clean With Me video. I even have some here on my channel that I will link down below, and I will be doing more of them as well. So find a Clean With Me video, put it on in the background, and clean with the friend that you're watching clean, because it makes it more fun and a little more enjoyable, and you have something to listen to, and you can kind of time yourself that way. And I find that it's fun and the time goes by much faster. One trigger for me being in a rut is not having clean clothes to wear. I don't know why, I know this is weird, but if I don't have clean clothes to wear, I just feel really disgusting. And we don't really have a lot of clothes to choose from. So if most of our clothes are dirty, it kind of just makes life a little more difficult. So do your laundry. Do your laundry. Even if it's just one load, you'll feel great because you did the load. And then after you do your laundry, go through your closet and find things that you don't like anymore, that don't fit you anymore, that you don't, like when you put it on, you want to feel bomb in it. And if you don't, get rid of it. Just donate it. If there's holes in it or whatever, maybe throw it away. You know, whatever it is you want to do with it, get rid of it. Get it out of the house. Don't look at it anymore. Keep it in your closet, because if you do, you'll walk in and be like, okay, I want to put on something that, like, you know, is a little comfy but is also a little bit cute. And you walk in your closet and nothing fits you. You feel gross in all of it. You're not gonna want to get dressed, so you're gonna sit in your sweats all day, put your hair up, no makeup, all that, and then you're going to even further spiral into the rut that you were already in. Just get rid of the clothes, get some new ones if you need to, go thrifting. I don't know what you need to do, but figure out what you need to do with your wardrobe and do it, because that will help you so much. Maybe even take $5, go to Goodwill, get a new shirt or a new dress or whatever is your thing, and do it that way. Just have something new to feel fresh and cute in, and that will really just be a game changer. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it really, really is. And if you want to go the extra mile, maybe do your hair, like curl it or straighten it or whatever you have, do that. Maybe put a little bit extra makeup on. Just make yourself feel really good, because if you do, you'll be that much more excited to continue getting out of that rut. And if you do something that's different, again, you're breaking that chain of being in the old habits that you used to be in. You're trying to do something that's different. That's how you get out of a rut. Okay, and then after that, my next tip for you is do something that makes you feel really happy or relaxed, or whatever emotion you would like most to feel. So maybe that would be having a friend over, or having a coffee date, or going thrifting, or going on a nice long walk, or going to the pool, or whatever it is that you have. Do that, because it will make you feel really happy. And again, it shouldn't be something that you normally do, because if it is, you're kind of just still stuck in that rut. So you want to do something completely different. I don't know, maybe don't go to Starbucks for a day. I know that's bold, like maybe you go to Dunkin' instead, I don't know. So again, just break it up, do something different, and try to just break up your day in a way that you normally don't, because that will really just help your mind, I guess, break away from that old way of working, or wow, there's a gnat in here, sorry. From that old way of working, and it will give you something new and fresh and happy to focus on. Okay, another thing that really, really helps me is simply talk to someone about it. So my husband is my best friend, and he and I talk like all day long, because he's here at home right now. And if I'm feeling like I'm in a rut, I tell my husband, and he, most of the time, like a lot of the things that are on this list, he will just automatically suggest and take me to go do. So like, hey, let's go thrifting. Hey, let's go to Target. Hey, let's go to Dunkin'. Like, he will suggest things that will help me get out of my rut, and he will help me do it. So that's something that really helps me, is just having someone back me up and keep me accountable. Like if I tell him, hey, I'm gonna get out of my morning rut, and here's how I'm going to do that, and I show him my list of the things that I found on those YouTube videos or whatever, he can help me the next morning, be like, hey babe, make sure you're up by this time. Hey, make sure that you're doing this, don't do that. Like, that's not something you wanted to do. He will help me with that, because if you're like me and you have normal, just everyday habits, you kind of do them without even thinking about it. So it's really nice to have that backup of someone just telling you, hey, like, this isn't what you're supposed to do something different. And so it's really nice to have that. And even if he didn't do that, it would still be nice to just talk it through and be like, hey, I just feel like I'm in such a rut right now. Like, I don't even know. And just talk about your frustration, because everybody's in this situation. Everybody has been there, and it just feels so much better to be able to talk about it. So that's a huge thing that really, really helps me, and I suggest you guys do as well. And if you don't have somebody to talk to, comment down below and we can talk together, because I know that this community, people are in ruts, so it's something that we need to talk about. And I don't try to cover up the fact that I'm in ruts. I just came out of a rut. It was like a 4-week rut too. So it's not like it's an easy thing to get out of always. And sometimes the most difficult part of the process is figuring out that you're in a rut. Like, sometimes you just feel off and you don't really realize it's because of your normal everyday routine. So give yourself some grace and just let yourself figure out what's going on, and do whatever it is that your body and your mind needs in order to move past that rut and do something different that brings you fulfillment and joy and peace. Okay, so another thing that makes me really, really excited during this process of trying to unravel my rut is doing things that make me happy. And I don't mean like going to get coffee or things like that, although that's a great thing to do too. But I mean more so in my space. So for me, that's diffusing, that's bringing out some new plants that I have. So like, I have plants in here, as you can see. I switch things up with what plants are in what rooms. I'll bring out some like really bright throws that I have. So I have a nice peach throw. So I'll bring them out, I'll move things around, and I'll just do things in my space, not throughout the whole house, but where I'm going to be. So maybe my office or in the kitchen. I'll bring out those bright colors. I'll have my diffuser going with whatever scent it is that smells good to me right then. I'll open the windows and curtains if possible. I'll just do things that make the atmosphere feel really, really nice, because if the atmosphere around you feels good, you're going to be happier. But if things feel just like stuffy and gross and just normal, it's not going to feel like a different day. It's going to feel like every other day that you have. So you want to do things that are different. So I'm not suggesting that if you have your windows open every day, you close them this day, but maybe turn on a light or turn off a light or do something like that, just to change up your pace and to do something different. And then lastly, I just wanted to say, give yourself grace through this, because it is a process and everybody goes through this. Everybody has bad days. Everybody gets into ruts. Everybody has been in a rut for more than a week before. Like, it's a thing that happens, and we're human. And give yourself grace and time to get through it, because if you're trying to rush to get through this rut, it's going to make it really difficult to get out of it. And though these tips I gave you are all very easily implementable in one day, you could do some of them, you don't have to do any of them, maybe do your own thing, but just change things up. Find little ways to change things. Maybe even just change the smell of your hand soap at your kitchen sink. It's something that's different. It's something, again, that brings you joy. You want to have joy in the everyday. Don't make everything feel like just mundane. Like, you want it to be happy and fun and bring you joy. Again, just give yourself grace, give yourself the time that you need in order to get through this, and realize that other people are going through the same thing. And I think that's just the most helpful part of this, is knowing that you're not alone. And really, you could call up anybody in your contacts list and they will have had a day like this. Like, I just think that's really awesome, and that's just very comforting to me to know that, you know, even the people you look up to, even the people that just seem like they are indestructible and they are so just untouchable by bad days, even they get into ruts sometimes too. So anyway, guys, I hope that this video helped you in some way, shape, or form. I hope that this gave you some ideas maybe of some different ways to change things up. I know there are a lot of videos on this topic out there, and I've watched a lot of them myself, but I try to find things that I specifically do, that I came up with myself, and tell you guys what I do, because sometimes I feel like all of the suggestions that are out there are the same thing, and though they work, they do work, I just needed to do my own thing over time in order to get me out of the rut. And you know your body best, you know what you need, you know what your mind needs in order to, I guess, be happy and like feel stimulated and all of that. So do whatever it is that you need to do in order to get that satisfaction out of not being in a rut but not feeling super busy that day because you're just deep cleaning your house, because it's something you don't normally do. Or maybe you do. Maybe you're someone who enjoys deep cleaning for fun. I do, but again, just find things that are different and give yourself the grace to work through them, and don't expect results overnight, though they might happen overnight. Maybe it's just one day you needed a reset and you're good from that day forward. It kind of depends on why you're in the rut. Again, point number one. And again, please comment down below if you felt like any of these points were useful to you, or if they helped you, or if you've tried them out, or if you've done any of these before yourself. So again, subscribe if you haven't already, click that all notifications bell, and like this video if you don't mind. I really appreciate it. This is like my hobby slash side business thing. So I really appreciate you guys like helping me and supporting me and everything that I'm doing. So, and if you're not already, please go follow me on Instagram. I'm super active over there. I'm starting to do reels, which is terrifying to me. I really haven't done those before, so I've only done 2 at this point. So I will be doing more of those though, because they're super fun. So make sure you go follow me on Instagram at Cozy Times with Jess, and that will also be linked down below. So go check out my feed there, and I post on my stories things that I'm doing, and when I'm in ruts, how I'm getting out of it currently. So other than that, I hope that you have a great day, and stay cozy, my cuties. Bye guys.